right. All right. We are back and a new format. Welcome back to the Excuse Me Brother podcast show. I'm your host, Brother Jay, and with me tonight, I got my co-host.
Shawty, say what's your price? Just to back it up, you can hold my ice. What's up?
Oh, my
Yeah.
ice. That's a throwback.
Galaxy. I know, this song's been stuck in my head all day. Love it.
Why?
I have no idea. Like, it gets, I was on Spotify, probably. Things just get lost in that line. But also, don't forget our producers here as well.
I'm here, producer Jay.
Wait.
Down
There
there,
he
yeah.
is.
No trouble eventually.
What's going on? We're recording on a new night. If you're listening to this, it should be Tuesday. Am I right?
Should be.
Yeah. Yes.
He's unsure, but we know for a fact it's
Yeah, this is gonna be the schedule going forward. We're swapping recording days to accommodate everyone.
Mostly me.
Mostly you.
It was the messed up schedule.
And
just crazy.
and
So I
Brother
definitely
Zay,
have-
because he's off on Thursday, so it makes it easier to record. So
Which is still crazy to me.
Listen, I'm trying to get back to the day cycle, and as soon as I can, then
It has nothing to do with the fact you have the day cycle. It's just funnier to me that I am the one with the best availability.
you got
Yeah.
multiple jobs.
he has multiple jobs, multiple he live streams. It's
It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't, but he does it. I don't get it either.
Listen,
No one ever really needs to know. Just be happy.
He
Yes.
probably did that thing they did in Harry Potter where you go back
the
in
time
time.
center?
Yeah. So he's multiple places at once.
listen. She made it work. Hermione made it work.
Don't be
Exactly.
snitching on your boy. I thought we was better than this.
He's a wizard.
It's like that sometimes. So how y'all doing? How was y'all weekend?
I'm getting a little
Yeah.
fed up, if I'm gonna be honest, with these fireworks.
Oh, I'm about to say what happened. Producer?
Yo,
Nah,
listen.
I'm tired of this humidity. Fuck this. I can
Well,
deal
that
with the
too.
fireworks.
It's just there's a bunch of shit going on right now. And I don't. You can hear it. I literally they do it. All three sides. Like there's two houses on the side of me that does it, and then behind me as well. So like they're trying to
damn.
compete with each other, and I'm just trying to fucking sleep. Because I ended my vacation yesterday, and they were going up until 12 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you got to go back to work tomorrow?
No, I went back to work today.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday was my last day, so I had to go to sleep, but they were up because, July 1st is apparently the Independence Day.
No.
It starts at like Memorial Day.
Not even.
On and off,
it depends
I
on the
guess.
time. It depends on the season. If it's hot outside, like where it is right now with all the humidity, that's when the fireworks start.
I don't know, why would people
And
want to be
remember the
outside in this humidity?
Remember during the pandemic, it
Well,
was going on
yo.
from like April
Yo.
to beyond.
Bro,
That's true.
during the pandemic, it was crazy. Like,
It was all year round.
it was
Yeah, so, like-
ridiculous. Yo, it sounded like Afghanistan outside. So shit was crazy.
People getting bored at home. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm gonna do fireworks of all things.
Fireworks and then the bikes. Dudes on their bikes were out of
Oh
control.
yes, I remember that.
Almost
I was fine with
insanity.
They did the
I
walk.
was fine with the bikes.
Nah,
They trapped me in. One time
Did
I
they?
parked and I was trying to leave and I could not until they passed.
They were doing one of the write-outs. I actually tell you, I got to interview a bike gang in college for one of my radio projects.
how'd that go?
A bike
It was very
again?
fun. They're not really a gang. They're just
I
like,
was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Like a crew. They're like motorcycle crews.
yeah, but like, can't really just say motorcycle crew. Kind of sounds weird.
But I
Biking
mean, like,
gang
they're not
bike
gangs.
gang just sounds better. No, they're
They're
not
not-
doing anything gang related. No, not
Right.
at all.
yeah.
But it just sounds better when you call it a bike gang than a
Abs-
bike crew.
It sounds
Absolutely.
better. Yeah, it's
Some
better
some
for.
activities, you can get away with just calling it some stuff.
It sounds more impressive.
You can't. Yeah,
Biker gang, yeah.
I interviewed a biker gang. Like
a biker.
I
How'd that
interviewed
go?
a motorcycle club.
It was actually
Oh,
really good.
Motorcycle club is actually what they really are.
Motorcycle club sounds better,
It sounds official.
It does, yeah.
but it was just a lot of fun time. It was a very good interview. Told me about like why they do ride outs, like everything. How everyone's like it isn't random. He's like sometimes it really is. Sometimes it's in protest. I was like, oh, there's a protest? Tell me more.
Protesting.
There's always protests.
But what
some
are
of
they
them-
protesting?
Some of them ride out whenever like one of their friends has like been like got their bike confiscated illegally. Because cops just confiscate bikes random whenever they feel like. Sometimes, and they're like, you can't take his bike because it's like its license plate and everything. You have no right to. And then when they take it, they that's like some of the ride outs are like sometimes randomly at night. It's the ride for their fallen brother who got their bike taken.
And they just ride about wherever they are and just go
They normally try to ride around like places they know as hotspots for police to bother them.
You ever run into those not necessarily bike gang or a motorcycle club, but they ride ATVs. You ever seen those people?
Yes.
They
Yes.
are so annoying because they're just doing the most reckless shit imaginable. I'm like, I don't want them to get hurt because obviously I don't want them to get hurt. But at the same time,
You would be mad if they did.
I would laugh if they did.
It depends on how reckless they're being, because it's just like,
It comes off as very obnoxious. Like, why are you doing all that?
yeah, agreed.
Why not? Well, bro. Well,
Speaking of
we do.
protests,
Oh, here we go. So
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't do it. I swear.
speaking of protests, right? There might be some protesting in the streets in the coming days and weeks.
Yes.
And considering these last couple of decisions that the Supreme Court has made, y'all, I don't know if y'all been, well, of course y'all been paying attention, but
I've been paying
sure.
attention very loosely, but
Yeah,
I know the gist of what's happening.
I get
Yeah.
sad when I pay attention to it. So to keep me from going to another depressed episode, I try not to.
no,
don't blame
there's
you.
a thing about that. It's like too much knowledge is there's actually a Bible verse about that too. Like
I am cursed with it forever. Do not.
Yeah.
I
knowledge
don't
is a
know.
burden.
Yeah.
It is a pain in my ass.
It's a pain in the absolutely 100%.
That's what was it? Thanos said that
Reality is all things.
no, not that one. He's cursed with knowledge. That's what he said.
When you say that,
He said it to Iron Man. He said it. When he first met him, he said, "You're not the only one cursed with knowledge." But it's true, and that's why people say ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, because you don't have to think about all the other
You
dumb
don't got to
shit that
think
goes
about
on.
shit. That trust me, I try to. I want to. I wish I could be ignorant to certain things, but I
It would
can't.
make life. It would make life a lot easier for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, so the Supreme Court has not made one, but two controversial decisions recently.
Wow.
Yeah, on a roll.
Yeah, two in a
Just-
row. Yeah. The first one was the not the
Student
affirmative
debt.
action. Yes, the student loan thing. Yes,
Okay.
they chose to disavow. I would say. I mean, what can I say? Like, how can we describe this?
Disavow.
They deemed it. So they pretty much said that Joe Biden's administration overstepped their boundaries by making that program, making all their student
debt relief thing.
Right. And then, of course, the recent one, the one that threw everybody in an uproar, was the banning of affirmative action, basically. Well, no, let me rephrase that. They are banning race from being a considerable factor when filing for college applications. They banned it. They deemed it unconstitutional to factor in race, effectively banning affirmative action being a factor in, college admissions.
Just butthurt people doing dumb shit.
Wasn't there a third one too, where they essentially made it legal for businesses to turn people away based on religion and like sexual orientation and stuff like that?
That was a thing. I don't think it was recent. That was a thing a long time ago.
I feel like there was something, or they said that it was okay for it. Not that they said it was.
Yeah, they pretty much allowed it. It's in certain states do that now.
Like you can refuse service based off of
gender, sexual preferences,
gender,
sexual identity.
Or
I know what he's talking about, but I think that they just recently made a decision on that case because the case itself is older.
Oh, so then okay, that's what it was then.
I think that's what it is, bro.
Yeah, because I remember that being part of the news, but I wasn't sure if that was part of the Supreme Court stuff.
I think it was because it made its way all the way to the Supreme Court. The issue took place I think it was either Colorado or was it Nevada, where this gay couple wanted a cake for their wedding, and they went to a bakery, and the owner of the bakery said no because it goes against their religious beliefs.
I remember that.
And I think that case made it all the way to the Supreme Court, and I think they just ruled on it. I could be wrong. Of course, I could be wrong. But let me ask y'all a question. Right?
Okay.
Either one of y'all got student loans?
I did. To be honest, and I probably shouldn't be saying this, I have no idea what happened to it. I was paying it at one point, and then it disappeared. They haven't gotten back to me about it since. This was years ago, since I was in Ohio. Yeah.
It didn't affect your credit score, right? I ain't got no problems with it.
I mean, it probably did. For a long time, I was in the gutter when it came to my credit, but ever since then, I've been building it. So I'm guessing it went to collections, and then it just got dropped because they couldn't reach me.
Maybe it went to default.
Probably.
Maybe.
But I'm better now.
Well,
you took too long. Just got rid of it.
So you know what? We ain't gonna get nothing back from him. Let's just let it go.
I'm talking about this was since before my kids were born. So it's like it's been a long time.
Been a long time.
Should have left you.
Without a dope step.
Okay, so we'll take.
I don't know why it's throwback John, but fuck it. Why did?
I know you had student loans, right?
I went to college on a scholarship.
What?
Excuse me, brother.
Your excuse.
How did you never mention this?
I'm pretty sure he has mentioned it, but we don't listen to him. But it's
pretty much.
Because we don't listen to him, we miss out on important details such as this. This
is why we need to listen.
No. Went to school free.
Wow.
Must be nice.
Wait, what kind of scholarship?
Economic. This school didn't give me an athletic scholarship. Lehman, I went to Lehman. Remember this?
They don't give athletic scholarships at Lehman?
They can, but
I probably do, but that's not what he got.
Remember, I was playing football at the time. Lehman doesn't have a football team.
They don't?
It doesn't?
No.
Not even
Lehman College. Lehman College does not have a football team. They have a lot of other teams in D3. At least I don't actually. When I was there, they were D3. I don't know if they're still a school. I don't know if they're still in there. Because there was a point in time where a lot of schools were leaving the NCAA system, especially the Division III schools. But at the time, no, I went just strict off my own grades, just academic.
Wow, look at you!
What? Went straight and then took graduated in 4.5 years. I think that's smart.
Smart with his academic scholarship. You think you better than us, huh?
No.
You think you too good for the hood, huh?
He don't think he know.
Never claimed that. If you are, in fact, next to my friends, I think they think I have a self-esteem issue. Could be true. Who knows at this point?
That might be a lot of us.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my debt, but it's still the fact that they're going against the grain when it comes to student debt, which is, what is it at this point? Isn't it like
it's in the it's got to be in
it's
the
in
billions.
the trillions. No, I know it's in the. Is it in the trillions?
It is in the trillions. I think it's in the trillions. Every time I hear anything about student loan debt, it's definitely trillions. From like Stephen Colbert.
Maybe that's like total debt.
Yeah.
The deficit, like you mean like the national deficit?
Maybe. I know that student loans is either trillions or billions, just as a total.
Let me see.
I know that most kids will be like, oh, I owe like...
Oh, yeah, it's in the trillions.
Yeah, I was right. Let's go.
It's 1.64 trillion.
That's
I know I was right.
That's
just student loans. Yep. As of March 2023.
God damn, I'm good. Not the best, but you know, not when I want to be right in, though. You know what it is.
All right, well, I got the article that I want to kind of get us up to speed on about, just so that we can.
No.
It's not long. It's not long. It's by NBC News. All right.
Okay.
The vote basically was 6-3 in favor of killing the plan. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They said that the justices divided 6-3 on ideological lines, ruled in one of two cases that the program was an unlawful exercise of presidential power because it had not been explicitly approved by Congress. Biden said that the ruling was disappointing and vowed to take additional steps to relieve the financial burden on those holding student loan debt, right? Here's the meat and potatoes of it. It said the court rejected the Biden administration arguments that the plan was lawful under a 2003 law called the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students Act, or the HEROES Act, right? The law says the government can provide relief to recipients of student loans when there is a, quote, national emergency, allowing it to act to ensure people are not in a worse position financially as a result of the emergency. I'm guessing that was the pandemic.
Yeah.
It says Chief Justice John Roberts said the HEROES Act language was not specific enough, writing that the court's precedent requires that Congress speak clearly before a department secretary can unilaterally alter large sections of the American economy. Now check this out. It says the plan, which would have allowed eligible borrowers cancel up to $20,000 in debt and would have cost more than $400 billion, has been blocked since the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals issued a temporary hold in October. About 43 million Americans would have been eligible to participate.
Wow.
$20,000.
That's a lot.
This wouldn't have been a problem if it wasn't for those kids that were suing the government for the shit.
You think so?
I mean, I don't think it would have got this much coverage. Like, I guarantee you that just because it came from Biden, I guarantee you, like, the others, due to their, I guess, just their most recent history now, because it came from, like, the other side, they'd be like, nah, we gotta find a way to make this look bad so we can cancel it, and then do it again on our own terms.
That's kind of like, well, Obama went through a lot of that, too, when he was president.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, due to their most recent history. Now, that seems to be their memo right now. So, like, I'm sure, like, this would have won through easily, and then, like, maybe 2 to 3 years later, they would have, like, made some bullshit up to cancel it, to redo it again, to give it a different name.
No, go ahead, say what you're saying.
Nah, but due to everyone's like, nah, I paid my student loans, I'm suing to get that money back.
That's what I never understood, where people get upset about with the whole student debt stuff. Like, oh, I paid my student loans, like, you should be able to pay it too, like, stuff like that. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, you should want people to be, like, forgiven or relieved of their student loans if they can. Like, why is it that you want everybody to suffer like you did? Like, no, I want somebody else to not suffer what I did. like, or what I had to go through.
How dare they get lucky and get their shit together?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want, like, granted, yeah, it sucks, but it's like you already went through it. You came out the other side. Let other people get out.
Never.
Well, you had the luxury of being able to pay off your shit. Not everybody does.
And not only that, the people who keep saying stuff like that, they don't realize that the economy is so different now than when it was when they were in high school and college and stuff like that. Like, they could get by on, not necessarily minimum wage salaries, but like less than what we're getting. Inflation is going through the roof, and our salaries and wages are not increasing along with it. So it's like we can't afford the same things that y'all could. So why you want us to suffer like you suffered? This is beyond me. Also, I don't get either producer
because there's so
it's like a fairness thing. Oh, it's not fair that I had to go through it and you don't get to.
That's how they look at it.
That's so stupid.
That's how most people look at things, and they're like,
generally speaking,
why did you get it? It's not fair. I didn't get it. Like,
generally speaking, if in general, like, I wouldn't want the younger generation to go through what I would go through.
Exactly.
No.
Like, it doesn't matter if I don't know them. It doesn't matter if, like, they're being assholes or whatever. Like, they deserve a better life because we were given a shit hand. We don't want to do that to them. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what it is when it comes to the generations before us, because it's the millennials I know have the same attitude that we do, and some I think the one before is Gen X, right? Generation X?
I think so.
No, I think the one before us is Gen Y.
Gen Y, I think, yeah.
I think it's Gen Y.
Gen 1. At least that's the attitude I get when we talk to everyone else. It's like, well, we had a shitty life growing up. Why would I want to give them this? Why would I want to give them the same thing? Like, there are trends outside now going like reversing the family trauma, the generational trauma.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And the other idea is everyone else is like, the older people is like, no, this is what builds character. I was like, that's not building character.
No, that's not building character.
That's building a suicide case.
Exactly.
This is not what we wanted.
It's building stress and anxiety.
Exactly. You wonder why.
I
wonder why people are so messed up in the head now these days.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It goes back to people being just generally different in terms of how they handle stuff. Back then, they didn't talk about like anxiety and stress and depression openly. It was something that was internalized. So they feel like, they need to internalize it now. It's like, no, they're gonna wear it on their sleeves because that's the generation we live in now. So it's gonna be a lot harder to deal with.
There's not even a word on the sleeve. It's more like, hey, it happened. Like, let's work through the steps to get rid of what you went through, my brother. Like, you don't gotta feel this way forever. Let's heal together.
It shouldn't be that way.
And they're all like, fuck no. Everyone suffer together. Like, that's not what we do.
That's what they want. They want everybody to be just as miserable as they are.
They want to be just as messed up, just as terrible as we are. And I was like, that's not what we want.
And
traitors.
And I don't think people understand. Well, at least opponents to this debt thing understand that if they cancel the debts, right? If they cancel student debts, student loans, that means that people will have more money to contribute to the economy,
which would lead to this inflation. And there's so many things that go against the principle.
It just doesn't make sense. Like,
if there's less money in circulation, then prices go up because demand is rising, but the supply is not.
Exactly. So if I'm not paying so much money on student loans, then I can spend more money elsewhere. You know what I mean? Consumer goods, housing, or food. You know what I mean? Which means that the economy will get a boost.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I'm just a Negro with a podcast. You know what I mean?
What do I know? I took economics.
Right. Like,
Can you do business?
I did. Yeah, exactly. I did.
This is, business. We can call Smart Brother right now. He'll come answer these questions.
You know what?
Have you not spoken to Smart Brother since that podcast recording?
I've spoken to him a couple times, but I don't know why I didn't think to ask him on this. Maybe because of the scheduling. But
because we were talking about affirmative action. That's the main plan.
Well, that was the other one.
Student loan and finance is another. We could do that later. We could do that plan another time.
Okay. All right. That works for me. That works for me. But yeah, let's transition to the other one, the other Supreme Court decision that they just recently came up with. Yo, the Supreme Court has been on a roll the last year and a half. Like, y'all just making all kinds of unpopular decisions.
Crazy, unprecedented, unpopular, like you said. Like, it's just, why? I don't understand.
It's not about, they do it because they want to.
Well, it's all about taking America back to
the Stone Ages.
Apparently.
The Industrial Revolution era.
Well, yeah, the thing about the Stone Age, bro, is just, it wasn't necessarily that people were stupid. It's just they didn't have technology. That's what I've come to learn. Like, but even the technology that they had was good for what they did. Like, of course, you see these ancient, whatchamacallit, they built temples, they built water wheels, they built all kinds of things. It's just what they had. They weren't stupid. It's just.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're using the techniques from the old time. From the olden. I feel like
the olden age of these.
But like you're using old like mindsets in today's era, and that doesn't work. And that's why these decisions are being scrutinized, because they don't make sense in today's society.
They don't make sense. Yeah, you're right.
I was saying maybe
made
like
sense back then.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe like 100 years ago.
Well,
in the 20s,
they made sense back then because they deemed people less than them.
Well, remember,
they didn't see certain groups of people as people.
Exactly.
Some groups were looked at as 3/5 of a person, but you know what? I'll move on.
Some groups didn't, and then some groups didn't have anything.
Some groups didn't even get they recognized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some groups were forced to be homeless. There's also that. What were we talking about? I'm sorry.
Affirmative action.
Oh. What about it?
All right.
You know what's crazy about the affirmative action thing? One of the justices, who is a black man.
We gonna get into that. Hold on.
Okay.
We gonna go there.
Okay.
We gonna go there. Okay.
I'll hold my horses.
This nigga here. Oh my goodness. So
Joe,
what day did they decide this? I think it was the 29th.
Probably.
Okay. Okay, I got the article up. It says that the Supreme Court on Thursday, whatever day Thursday was.
That was the 29th, yes.
Okay. Struck down affirmative action programs at the University of North Carolina and Harvard in a major victory for conservative activists, ending the systematic consideration of race in the admission process. The court ruled that both programs violate the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution and are therefore unlawful. The vote was 6-3 in the UNC case and 6-2 in the Harvard case, in which liberal Justice Kajani Brown was recused. I think she did vote because, I don't know, maybe I don't know why she didn't vote.
Probably wasn't there.
No, I mean,
there's always a reason why some people don't vote. Some people just don't make it.
Some people have it presents a conflict of interest sometimes. I don't know if Kajani Brown went to Harvard or UNC, so of course the case would be like close to home for her.
Oh yeah, then she probably couldn't vote at that time.
Right, she probably couldn't vote. The decision was hailed by prominent conservatives, so no surprise there.
No shit.
Who say the Constitution should be colorblind, with former President Donald Trump calling it a great day for America. Liberals, however, condemned the ruling, saying it is a key tool for remedying historic race discrimination. It wasn't perfect, but there's no doubt that it helped offer new ladders of opportunity for those who, throughout our history, have too often been denied a chance to show how fast they can climb, said Michelle Obama, the first Black First Lady. President Joe Biden called the decision a severe disappointment, adding that his administration will provide guidance on how colleges could maintain diversity without it violating the ruling. Hold on. Oh, we're gonna get into that cool a little later.
Bro.
Man, he is what he is.
He's a cool man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Don't be sorry. We all know he is what he is. There's nothing.
What's that name where they call
Uncle Tom?
There you go.
Like,
like he
to find out, Uncle Tom was the good guy in the story. So I think the proper name is Sambo.
Like something like that. But unfortunately,
what was the name of the guy from Django?
Steven.
Steven? Is that what's his name?
You can't destroy Candyland, nigga.
You're talking about Samuel Jackson's character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, his name was Steven.
Oh my god, I forgot about it.
Who's this nigga up on that there? I ask you a question. Who is this nigga up on that there? This nigga don't stay in the big house? That nigga here. Yes, that nigga there. Yes, that's him. Okay, that's him.
That's it.
All right? Let me ask y'all a question, though. How do y'all feel about affirmative action to begin with? Be honest.
I always thought, because growing up, it was always used as like an insult to people, or mainly black people, like say, oh, you only got that job because of affirmative action, or you only got this because of affirmative action. It was used as an insult. I never really took it seriously. I never really even understood what it meant. I just knew it was something in relation to black people getting something because they're black.
That's what you knew it as?
That's what I knew it as growing up. I never really looked into it. Or...
That's what it's look it up. Yeah. So you want the honest truth? My first interaction with affirmative action actually came up from my me researching the NFL, because they had to make up a rule for affirmative action in the NFL.
Rooney Rule. Yes, the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I knew of it at the time, but I didn't know fully about it till then. That's when I got to learn more about it. Also, this is what this is for.
Yeah, so I think Producer Jay, we need to explain to Producer Jay what the Rooney Rule is.
I'll do my best because I fully don't know it myself. But the Rooney Rule is NFL owners are notoriously known for being racist.
I mean,
as we all know,
I can understand that.
So whenever they were doing hiring for head coaches of their NFL teams, remember when you look at the NFL, most of the players are African American,
black, yeah,
but most of the coaches that the NFL owners were hiring were all white, Caucasian and white American.
Yes.
Even though they were African American coaches who've been doing it for years, they were still looking over to get some new guy from college more tries before they were hiring the African American coaches. And then so I believe it's called the Rooney Rule because the person who sued them, I don't remember his full last name, but I know that his name was Rooney. His last name was Rooney. So he sued them, and then which came into the law that at least the NFL owners had to at least interview at least one or two African American people for the head coaching job.
So the rule was named after the chairman of the diversity committee. His name was Dan Rooney, who used to own the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's who it was named after. But yeah, basically in a nutshell, NFL teams, when looking for new head coaches, they are required to interview at least one African American candidate, and most of the time it's just they just do it to fill the quota. They wind up not hiring that black coach anyway. How many black coaches are there in the NFL right now today, dude? I know, of course, there's the dude who coaches the Steelers now. What's his name?
Mike Tomlin.
Yes, Mike Tomlin.
Mr. Mike.
That's all I can think of right now.
That might. Oh no, there's a few more. Robert Saleh actually is African American. The head coach for the Jets. He's African. Yeah, he's not white. He's also something else, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I think there's 4 maybe. Todd Bowles, I believe. Todd Bowles is the head coach for the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Also a former coach of the Jets. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of them are former New York coaches though that happen to be black.
Oh, okay.
No.
So it says Tomlin, Bowles, and Ryans, D'Amico Ryans of the Houston Texans.
Oh, I forgot about him. Oh, he still has a job. That's crazy.
So out of 32 head coaches in the NFL, there's only 3 black head coaches. Mind you, the players are, I would say, 68% black, maybe.
Yep,
something like that.
So, but that is a form of affirmative action. Like they required them to, what you call it, to interview
black.
candidates.
But you see, I feel like that comes off as more of an insult than anything. Like you're only doing it just because you're told to.
But that's
But then there's no like the alternative is just no black head coaches being interviewed.
Exactly. Affirmative action is essentially like checks and balances, I would say, because it's like,
in a sense,
like I don't know how to explain it, but like it's a remedy to systemic racism. Like if you require it, then like of course there's going to be ways around it, and there's going to be people who are going to be like, oh, you only here because you're black, because you got in on affirmative action. But it's like, oh, I've been denied every chance ever since. But you want to know what the most egregious thing about it is? Black people are not the number one benefactors of affirmative action. That's the craziest part about it.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
You want to take a wild guess of who the biggest benefactors of affirmative action is?
Oh, I guess it won't take you that long.
Hey, come on,
white
just take a
people?
guess. White who?
I believe
White men?
Wrong.
White women?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
White women are the biggest benefactors of affirmative action.
You seem confused. I mean,
He's very confused.
I am confused. How?
Let's
Explain
go down memory
how
lane.
Sway.
No, I don't got the answers for.
I don't have the details in front of me either. But hold on, biggest benefactors.
I don't got the answers for you, bro. I'm sorry.
So wait, was affirmative action wasn't necessarily targeted to black people?
No. Whoa. Yeah, actually, yes. It was made.
So then how did it expand or something like that?
No, it got hijacked like everything else that black people do. Everything that we do gets hijacked by white people, and then white women come along and start complaining, and which is funny because they're the most entitled people on the planet.
So basically they saw the affirmative action stuff and was like, that's not fair.
Come on, son. Come on, son. The biggest benefactors of affirmative action, right? Hold on, let me look this up real fast. White women benefit the most from affirmative action. This is a USA Today article from from Thursday.
Before you go further, can I go get something to drink as you read this?
Of course.
Yes.
Let's go. Producer Jay, learn. I'll be back.
You said he's gonna need a drink for this.
Yeah, he's gonna. No,
Okay.
I did not even know this. I see what you're saying now. It makes sense now that you're like explaining it, but
Hold on.
or that you're.
I'm drinking coffee at 9:30 at night.
Wow, you're gonna be up.
I'm up all night anyway, bro. It's just my body's schedule.
That's true.
It says people often associate affirmative action with efforts to end discrimination for people of color. But scholars say the greatest beneficiaries of affirmative action policies are white women, from college campuses to the American workplace. White women today are more educated and make up a bigger scale of the workforce as a result of decades of affirmative action policies, scholars say. White women have also made inroads to corporate leadership that people of color and women of color have not. Right? Okay, what is affirmative action, right? We talked about it just now.
Right, yeah.
It says affirmative action refers to efforts to curb discrimination in education, employment, and government contracting, right? Affirmative action was first used in 1935 in the Wagner Act, a federal law that gave workers the right to start and join unions. JFK was the first president to use the term to mean advancing racial equality, right? So you know what happened? Are you talking about us?
No, I think it's talking.
That's why I said we.
Say, was you talking to us just now? No, he wasn't. Okay.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It says the term was originally meant to convey that the government should act affirmatively to end race and gender discrimination, but critics have equated affirmative action with racial quotas and preferences that they say give unfair advantages to people of color and discriminate against white people. So you see how it gets hijacked every time.
So basically, they saw what was going on and was just like, no, you got to give us a fair shake too.
Exactly. Meanwhile, they were getting all the fair.
They were getting it beforehand.
The fair and the unfair shakes before affirmative action became a thing.
Exactly.
Right? Now, here's the kicker. It says, how have white women benefited from affirmative action? It says discussions about affirmative action tend to focus on race, but statistics show that it has also been an equalizer for white women in education and in the workplace. A Labor Department report in 1995 found that since the 1960s, affirmative action have helped 5 million members of minority groups and 6 million women move up in the workplace. While we talk about institutions like higher education, we see that women in general are on par with men, but we have severe underrepresentation of Black, Indigenous, and Latinx folks in colleges and universities, and even greater disparities for women of color. This is from Texas A&M sociologist and lawyer Wendy Leo Moore told USA Today. You can make the same analysis when we look at employment. Those are the kinds of things that indicate that on a structural level that white women have benefited, right? It says, what does the data show? It says in the past 6 decades, women have leapfrogged men in earning 4-year degrees, while Black and Latino students are still underrepresented in college admissions and graduation rates, especially in 4-year colleges, right? From 2020 to 2022, just the past 2 years, 2 of the last 3 years, right? From 2020 to 2022, white women expanded their share of senior leadership jobs at twice the rate of women of color, though women remained outnumbered 4-1. Despite marginal gains among men of color, white men still hold about 2/3 of the top jobs, even though they account for just 1/3 of the workforce. Now, here's the hypocrisy. I'm skimming through the article, but here's where the hypocrisy stands. The question is, why do most white women oppose affirmative action? Reasonable question, right? If you benefit from it the most, why do you oppose it? It says half Americans do not approve of colleges and universities considering race in admissions, according to Pew Research Center report. A majority of white adults disapprove of it too. About 70% of non-Hispanic white women somewhat or strongly oppose to affirmative action, right? White women have also challenged affirmative action policies. In 2016, Supreme Court ruled against, they go to Supreme Court again, ruled against Abigail Fisher, a white student who said the University of Texas denied her admission because of her race. So the white girl is complaining that the big school won't let me in because I'm white.
Oh, because they chose someone else over her. Okay, I remember hearing about that too.
Really? Because I didn't hear about this.
Not that in particular, but like
it.
people were being upset because they felt like their spot was taken by a Black person because of affirmative action.
I've heard some of that. We're going.
Not even just like with schools, but like with jobs and all that stuff, that they're being overlooked because whatever it is, they're trying to meet a certain quota. I've heard that before.
I've heard complaints about it a lot recently, especially. I forgot. There was one story I'm very familiar with that one lady sued the school. It was another lady. I wasn't sure who it was. I think it was a lady sued the school because someone of another minority color made it to the school and she thought it wasn't fair. And then when they looked into like the grades and stuff, the girl had much better grades in the clubs than she did.
So,
she still went forward with that lawsuit though. Just like be like, no, they were racist. The affirmative action kept my school.
What I don't understand.
That.
What I don't understand is, if let's say a company passes you up for like affirmative action, or a college passes you up, what? I get being frustrated, but why would you like want to still go? Like, you know, like why would you want to fight them for it? Like, I feel like maybe they just thought they had a case, or maybe they spoke to a lawyer who sweet talked them into taking the case. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Maybe it's just a me thing. Because for me, I would be like, you know what, keep it moving. I don't want to work for you guys anyway. I don't want to go to this college anyway.
I'm looking at this case, and I think we have something here. I think we can definitely sue these schools and get some money out of it.
Well, yeah, that's a lawyer's job is to take cases even if they don't win, because
get a nice payout. Yeah,
they can get a payout. Yeah.
Well, they can always
get it. Say sorry.
No, I was gonna make a joke. Be like that bullshit where they'd be like, oh, you know, pay us when you want. If you charge us nothing unless we win.
Well, that's different.
That's how they get you, though.
That's true. And then there's like hidden fees and all that shit.
Lawyer fees, court
fees. You got to pay that.
Bro.
So to answer your question, producer, one could say the same thing about like a whole bunch of other stuff, like the gay couple that went to that bakery. It was like, okay, if they don't want to serve you, why would you sue them? Just go back. Just go to another bakery. Why would
mean, that's also true. Like
you know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of people I think
it's a principle.
It's a principle thing, and I feel like it's probably just a me thing as well. Like I wouldn't want to bother, and there's probably a lot of other people like that. And I'm probably not helping the cause, but it's like I'm just being honest. Life is too short to be getting upset about this stuff. Like there was this this TikTok I saw where this gay couple they were black and gay, and they were being profiled at a Bed Bath & Beyond or something. Even though they made the purchase, the cops were called because they thought they were shoplifting. Somebody called. I don't remember who it was. Somebody called and said they were shoplifting, and like they proceeded to make a whole scene. Even though they showed the receipt, they were like excused, like they wanted to move on. But I guess they wanted to make the point that this isn't right, and I get that. But I guess just the introvert in me who wouldn't want to make a big deal. I just want to be like, you know what? I'm never shopping here again. Peace.
Well, you know what? There's that way. Then there's the Karen way, where you can report it and take it up the ladder. You know, usually situations like that go viral.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's also it. I don't want to go viral. I don't want to be known as the person who sparked controversy for something.
Hey, listen, sometimes you got to shake the trees just a little bit, bro. Just a little bit.
Maybe.
But also, to the academic part of it, Tay, I'm going to get to you, Tay, in a second, but with the school, maybe that's the only college she got accepted to.
That's true.
You know, maybe it's the only college she could afford. Maybe they gave her a full ride or offered her a full ride or whatever happened. Or maybe that's the only college that had her major, or who knows why people do things like that. Or maybe she was just looking for a come up, like you said.
Good points.
I don't know.
What are you going to say? People always have alternative motives. Just depends on how much they get through it.
Yeah, honestly. Now, on to that cool.
Well,
when I saw that, I was like, bro.
hold on. I'm still not gonna forget the thing about him. Like, remember when like the whole marriage thing was going on?
Yeah.
What marriage thing?
Like, there was like a thing where like, oh, if the Supreme Court does something, anyone who gets married that's not in their race would no longer be able to get married or something like that.
Exactly. They were pushing that.
What?
Yeah, I think they were trying to end interracial marriage or something like that. This like within the last 2 years, bro.
Yeah.
And everybody
was why we were talking about ignorance is bliss. I have no idea about this shit.
And I think it was either ending gay marriage or
there was something.
I mean, I feel like
marriage.
They're constantly trying to end gay marriage, but the interracial marriage, that's insane.
The thing they were going after was gonna negate so much stuff that it was gonna end interracial marriages. Yeah, and then it turned up, and he was one of the people that were voting to approve it, like to get rid of it.
It's always tangentially related to, like, it'll be about something else entirely, and it'll have rippling effect. And that's the problem with these rulings. It feels like they're too broad in terms of like what they affect, and it's like it's always the ripple effect. Like things can get changed without even knowing.
Yeah, but he was fully like, yeah, let's do this to end like interracial marriage, and then like when we found out
he has
it
like
was
an Asian wife, right?
No, his wife is white. His wife is white.
White as fuck.
Like lily white, like country white.
Oh, then maybe I'm thinking of something else then.
Doesn't matter what you think. He still is like, it's fuck interracial marriage.
It's like, bro, you know, you talking about yourself, right? Like this is you. Like
that's next level self-hate shit.
Which leads into this. It's like his opinion on affirmative action on the case, right?
He is legit the Samuel L. Jackson. He is the Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson, yeah.
He's fully that character right now.
So, in his opinion, right? Hold on, we find it. In his opinion, what the hell is it? I just had it. Damn it! I just had it. Because he voted to end. He voted to strike it, of course. But hold on.
So for the affirmative action.
Yeah, he voted to strike it down, of course.
Yeah,
because he's on the conservative side.
Yeah, he's a conservative judge.
Right, he's a very conservative judge.
Technically, he shouldn't have a job no more because they found history of him accepting like money for court rulings.
That's the thing. That doesn't even matter. They have the job for life until they resign.
Until they
or die.
Or die, right.
Like
that needs to be that should be a thing that should get negated, but whatever.
Affirmative action thing. It's weird for him to say any of these things because he is a clear-cut case of affirmative action. It's like and plus he was over the EOCC at one point.
What's
the
that?
The Equal Opportunity Committee. The Equal Opportunity Employment Committee. I'm sorry, EEOC. He was over that one point. And it's like, bro, how are you going to sit here and be like, no, affirmative action needs to die? When
you know why? You know why? Because he got his, and he's set.
I got mine.
He's set. That's the thing. He's set for life. Literally, like he has this job for life. He don't have to appease nobody. He can speak his mind, no matter how foolish it makes him look. Nobody can take his job. And that's the sad part.
He wasn't trying to give it up anyway. So.
Hold on. It says, and him and whatchamacallit, Judge Brown, Johnny Brown, they went at each other over this issue. Two sides of the same coin. Because they both went through the same things growing up, but they sitting here, whatchamacallit, going at each other over this nonsense. Hold on, just cascade, blah 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 blah. Damn, I can't find it. Where is his opinion? Because he says some bullshit.
Search opinion.
I
find on page.
Is that how you do it, sir?
Yeah.
I put Clarence Thomas affirmative action opinion.
No, look for the article, or you don't know what article it is.
Right.
Also that.
Watch college. Okay, well, this is a video, but I'm not going to play the video, obviously.
You could say.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I'm fantastic, bro. I'm gonna start doing this.
Damn it!
I got too much energy. It's like I'm a 5-year-old again. I'm not gonna let it.
What's the judge's name?
Judge Clarence Thomas.
Judge whole ass motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a whole ass nigga for this.
Opinion.
Producer jet.
What's that?
Why, Tay?
Because I can't find the service. It's very blurry on the screen. We represent the lollipop gift.
Well, okay. I found something that he wrote and that he said towards what's her name, Judge Brown, and what he said was,
"Oh, did he compare it to segregation?"
No, what he said was, worse still, Justice Jackson uses her broad observations about statistical relationships between race and select measures of health, wealth, and well-being to label all blacks as victims. Her desire to do so is unfathomable to me. I cannot deny the great accomplishments of Black Americans, including those who succeeded despite long odds.
AKA me. That's what that was.
No, I think he's trying to spin it as something positive. He's like, oh, Black men we should be celebrated and get the stuff for what we accomplish in our lives and not given handouts because we're Black. Like, I get that part, but you're not gonna, because you're constantly being held down. That's the point of the affirmative action thing.
Not to him.
Not to him.
Also, we gotta go back. Who the hell compared affirmative action and segregation?
He did.
Oh,
I just looked it
up.
What? Said Clarence Thomas called affirmative action critical before comparing it to segregation.
Oh, you read that for us?
Oh, that's Washington Post. It's paywall.
You gotta pay for that. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Never mind. The headline's good enough. How the fuck? There's affirmative actions. Make sure we all get a chance to get interviewed. This shit like segregation. Excuse me, brother? What? It'd be segregation if we didn't. If we weren't allowed in the building.
How old is he? Did he?
He's like, he lived during segregation.
I was gonna say
he's 75. He's 75 years old. This dude,
he lived during it.
This man saw Martin Luther King. He saw Martin Luther King, and he still was like, this affirmative action, segregation. This is what it reminds me. When I was in my teens, in my 20s, segregation is what this affirmative action looks like. Yo, his family's not.
He probably hated MLK. He's like, bro, what are you doing?
He was real life Uncle Ruckus. Stop.
That's horrible.
Yeah. He was the one throwing the brick at the speeches. Shut up. I hate you. Don't you talk about the blessed white man like that? Like, not this man again. Thomas, go home. No. Now tell this uppity motherfucker stop talking about the white man. Call your mother, Thomas. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yo, this is not the first time he's let us down. Yeah. Like, I think he's one of those.
Let us down. I never expected anything from him. As soon as I learned about him being a conservative judge, I was like, oh, he's gonna be on some bullshit. I knew it from the get-go.
He serves himself instead of serving or interpreting the law.
Pretty much. I mean?
Yes.
And it boggles my mind how someone who received help or who received everything he did through affirmative action is going to strike it down.
He is the personification of, I made it up with this ladder. I'm going to burn it.
I pulled myself up by the bootstraps.
No. He didn't pull himself up by the bootstraps because it was because of this affirmative action he got the job.
He
Instead of what he did was he literally took the ladder with him.
Yeah.
He's like, y'all need this ladder? It's mine now.
Nah, I don't want anybody else up here.
Yes, I like it up here alone.
That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate.
That ladder was said, he set the match.
This stuff is gonna have rippling effects all over other stuff, and that's what I'm more afraid of, honestly. It's gonna
have ripple effects. Honestly, I don't think we're done with this. I think we'll see this in another court case.
Probably.
Because when it's this broad, other things are gonna show up. It's the same reason why Montana couldn't ban abortion in their state. It's really funny.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you know about that one, Producer Jay?
I don't know about that one.
That shit's hilarious. So after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, right?
Yeah.
Giving pretty much giving states the right to what they want to do with abortion.
Okay.
Montana wanted to get rid of abortion, wanted to ban it permanently.
Okay.
What Montana did, their governors were Republican, and were, in spite of Obamacare, made an amendment in the state constitution that every citizen has a right to choose their own thing for medical professions and procedures.
I think I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, so they were just trying to ban Obamacare, and then it came back to them when they were like, "We're trying to ban abortion," and the court was like, "You can't do that
because
why can't
you
we?
amended it.
Your own state amendment makes sure you can't put any legal restrictions on any medical condition or procedure. Abortion is a medical procedure."
Dummies. Played yourself.
So therefore
congratulations, you played yourself.
You played yourself.
So you can't.
I remember that.
Yeah, you can't ban it. You
literally cannot ban it. Oh, I found it. I found his stupid opinion.
That's what this episode is.
Let's hear it. Let's ride this episode out with this.
Bits and pieces of it. It says I'm reading an article from thehill.com. All right. It says Thomas, a conservative and one of two African Americans on the court, voted with the 6-member majority that found the admissions programs, blah, blah, blah. He also filed his own concurrence, laying out his own reasoning for his decision, and chose to read it aloud, which does not usually happen, right?
He wanted to know how stupid people.
Right. He said this is it.
He's like, I'm determined. I guarantee you this is a good reason. In fact, I'm gonna read it now. No, his brother's like, don't, please don't.
Please don't do it. We don't have to.
He said that.
No. I got this. I got us. I got us. I got us. I'm gonna make us look so smart with my reasoning. We got it, brother. Please.
Like no,
please.
brother, no.
Come on.
It says that Thomas argued in his concurrence that previous Supreme Court decisions upholding affirmative action allowed universities to discriminate against applicants in the admissions process. He wrote that the Constitution is colorblind and neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens.
No, it's not. The Constitution is white.
I'm getting a headache just by reading this shit.
You said the Constitution is colorblind?
And neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens.
That's
These
bullshit.
niggas had slaves when
Right?
they wrote the Constitution.
They literally had slaves.
The Constitution should be colorblind. It's not, bro. It's not. That's why we had the 13th Amendment. Do you not remember? That's what that came for. Because
there's how many amendments are there to the Constitution? There's over 20, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm not going through it.
You know what an amendment means? An amendment means, we gotta change some things about this. Let's say it right. We gotta change that.
Some ain't right. We gotta fix this.
The school was using that. So can we go back to the first statement of him just pretty much saying that the schools were using affirmative action to discriminate against?
How?
Motherfucker, the affirmative action is for that.
It's to avoid discrimination.
Hello.
How you sounding right now?
To discriminate would be to overlook them because they're black. You're doing the opposite of that. You're paying attention to them because they're black.
We're paying attention to everybody. That's literally what's against discrimination? Diversity. Exactly what we just did.
Yep.
Oh, hey, this coffee is delicious. Shut the fuck up. This coffee is delicious. I'm just saying. He wrote that the Constitution is colorblind and neither knows nor tolerates classes among citizens.
Constitution was slave colorblind. If you want that, remember we had a 3/5 compromise. There's a 3/5 compromise.
The court today makes it clear that in the future, universities wishing to discriminate based on race and admissions must articulate and justify a compelling and measurable state interest based on concrete evidence. Thomas said, given the strictures set out by the court, I highly doubt any will be able to do so.
Oh, just you wait. Just you wait.
Just you wait. Yep. Thomas noted that
they just needed the AOK. They will run to discriminate.
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Thomas said that he argued in the Grutter case. Thomas noted that he previously dissented in a 2003 case, Grutter versus Bollinger, in which the court upheld affirmative action. Right. Thomas said he argued in the Grutter case that the use of race in higher education admissions decisions violates equal protection clause, regardless of whether it is intended to help or hurt. Quote, in the decades since, I have repeatedly stated that Grutter was wrongfully decided and should be overruled. Today, despite a lengthy I don't know what that means, the Constitution prevails. Thomas said I'm sorry.
Does it really prevail?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm going, yes, Constitution prevails.
Never mind, continue. There is no Constitution. Keep pushing.
All right, last piece. Thomas said the country did not always live up to the principle of all men are created equal, outlined in the Declaration of Independence, as slavery continued for almost a century after. He said the 14th Amendment declared that the color of a person's skin should be irrelevant to their treatment under the law, which should be equal to everyone else. This thing's out of his mind.
The 14th Amendment?
The 14th Amendment is basically that you can't discriminate based off of race. I think it gave black people the right to vote. I think that was the 14th Amendment. Let me verify before I sound stupid.
Gotta count. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm like, let me look this up. Let's look this up before we say anything that can get us like
due
that.
process. Okay. It says
right
no
to
state
due
shall make
process.
the right to due process under the law. Based off of everything, shall breach the privilege or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Yeah, equal protection of the law. So, I don't know. The fact that came out of this nigga's mouth just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know if it sits right with y'all.
Of course not.
Yeah. He just might need to die soon. I mean, he is 75 years old.
I would never wish death on anybody, but
he's pushing it.
I will not shed a tear when that day comes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm with producer Joe on this one. I don't wish death upon someone, but he's pushing my limits very close.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, because there's only one way he leave. He's not giving up his spot.
He's not giving up his spot.
He's going to die in the seat.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Let's just hope he dies before a Republican president gets selected.
Another one? No, fucking hell.
Because that's what happened with RBG. She didn't want to give up her seat, and Obama couldn't appoint a new judge.
Yeah.
That was
Brett Kavanaugh came. That's when Brett Kavanaugh came. Yeah,
remember that wasn't his fault.
It was the woman. No, he appointed two, right?
You gotta remember Trump. No, Obama appointed judges, but the Senate refused to do the court case to do the thing to have the Senate has to do a process, question them and make sure and the whole process for them to do a judge. And the Senate decided to pretty much filibuster it. They'd be like, "No, we're not going to do it."
They purposely frustrated the process.
They delayed it. They pretty much delayed it until he left.
Trump got up.
Then Trump got elected. They're like, "Oh yeah, so let's pick this. So let's pick this thing." Because remember that was that whole thing. Because then when he lost, they were supposed to wait to do another. They were like, "Oh, no outgoing president should be able to pick a Supreme Court member."
Right.
And then when he lost, they're like, "Well, he's going to be outgoing." They're like, "Trump is an outgoing president," and they're like, "Well, there's an opening in the Senate. We might as well let him do it." And they're like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. And that's how Brett Kavanaugh got it, right?
Yeah.
And then that was a fiasco.
I like beer. That's all I remember from that.
Is that what that's from?
I like beer. I drink beer once, twice. Yeah, I'm known to have a few rounds of beer. I'm like, God damn it.
Ridiculous.
I remember This is all because he got accused of sexually assaulting someone.
And they brought that up during the trial too.
That was the trial.
Yeah, that was essentially the trial. It had nothing to do with him being
nothing to do with his questionable things he's done in court. It was for him as like, yo, you got a criminal record, right?
That's pretty much what it was about. Like, yo,
he was like, yeah, and like I like beer,
and
sometimes.
It doesn't matter. Like freaking, you could get elected. You could run for president while in jail.
Yeah,
I mean, someone's about to do it now.
Someone's about to do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that nigga's going to jail.
That nigga is going to jail.
He's going to prison. And he gonna
these charges do not look good. Like these charges do not look good.
It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day when he goes to prison. Everybody's
that's gonna be a whole fiasco.
Oh, not everybody, but
there's going to be something.
It's gonna be hilarious either way.
It is gonna be hilarious. I agree.
Yeah, so it's going to be something. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be something.
So let me ask y'all this, right, to wrap this up.
No.
What y'all think is next on the list? Because the Supreme Court just got a list of things they trying to overturn, and they're well on their way. Like, they are 2 for 2. 3 for 3, I should say.
They're 3 for 3. I don't dare offer a suggestion.
No, not a suggestion, but what you think is next. Like, oh, they gonna come after this next, because you already see they on the ball. Like, it's they going.
I don't want to give them any bright ideas.
Like, that's my thought. I'm like, do we have to talk about this? But listen, I don't want to talk about it. No. How about this? Wherever they go after is when we talk about it.
Wherever they're going.
I had no idea. Affirmative Action was on there.
It's nowhere good. Let's just put it that way.
But I had no idea. This is just affirmative action in schools, in college admissions.
But you know that it's going to be brought up everywhere else. That's what I'm saying about the rippling effect.
Yeah,
it's going to lead to more things. Like I said, I didn't even know affirmative action was on the chopping block. That's crazy.
That's the crazy thing too. These things just happen to pop up, and we're just like, what? Where did this come from?
I always knew they were going after Roe v. Wade. That was always on the
that was I guess
I already knew that. I didn't know affirmative action was next.
I think same-sex marriage
on the list
is
so
next.
Quickly.
Bro, they've been trying to get rid of affirmative action since they got it.
Yeah,
true.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the next one is gonna be like something to do with the LGBT community. Yeah.
Straight up, 100%.
The next on
marriage
the
or whatever, whatever they want to take away from them. I feel like that's next. Watch it be adoption, be able to adopt kids. It's gonna be some bullshit. I ain't gonna hold you.
I don't know.
They're making America great again. This is what Trump was talking about when they said make America great again.
This is the great America, apparently.
This is what they wanted. This is just the America that they wanted.
Hello.
Okay? So get ready. Buckle up the seats. Y'all got anything for grind my gears?
This whole episode was a grind my gears.
I mean, the whole episode was a grind my gears, but
okay, but something that's not related.
What I talked about earlier, just fireworks. Like, please.
Oh,
why?
We have to do an update on Jonathan Major's situation.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes. I forgot about that. I mentioned in the chat, but I forgot about that.
There's a lot happening with that too. It's a lot.
Well, his trial is coming up, so I guess we could talk about it then.
Yes, sir.
It's like next month.
It's next month.
I think it's like August 2nd.
Watch me be tired.
Sometime early August.
Watch me be tired for that one too. Let's go.
Hey. But anywho, yeah, it's July 1st or July 2nd at this point.
Close.
And it's gonna go all throughout July and into August, probably even September, because I've heard it that late as well.
What?
Stop with the fireworks, please. You don't need to. I know you spent a lot of money on it. You can save it for next year. It's okay.
No. Unleash them now.
No.
And then buy more.
No, they don't need to buy more. They'll have more for next year.
Aim it straight for the White House. You do that.
Whoa, wait. No, that in Minecraft, that's not a real statement.
Celebration. What? We have to celebrate America.
trying not to get canceled. This episode will be
No.
a flag.
You light the fireworks behind
I know,
the
we're
White
gonna get
House in
taken down. Our
celebration.
channel's gonna
You
get
throw
shut.
the torch at the Supreme Court building. You gotta focus. The fireworks is just distraction. Gotta be ready, my
You can
brother.
follow us on Instagram.
Don't you stop me.
At
I'm tired of
excuse
it.
me
I keep saying wild
_.
shit all the time. Now it's my turn. We in this game. Don't think I forgot what you did. Fuck y'all.
Follow us on TikTok. Excuse me, brother.
Don't you fucking do it.
You can follow us on Facebook. Excuse me, brother.
Y'all.
You can find all those links in our link tree.
Yeah, right above producer Jay. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook. If you listen to us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Fuck brother Jay.
Damn. Hey,
You have to at least be 5'9" for me to respect you. Fuck you,
5'9".
Jay.
Damn. All right. Goodbye. Good night.
Fuck
Peace.
I will not be silent on this bullshit.